When your body runs low on water, it's not just your mouth that feels dry. Your muscles feel it too. Dehydration quietly depletes key electrolytes like sodium, potassium, and magnesium. These minerals are the spark plugs that help your muscles contract and relax smoothly. Without them, the muscle fibers become overly excitable, meaning even when you're lying still at night, a sudden spasm can twist your calf into a painful knot. Research published in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine found that dehydration significantly increases the frequency of nocturnal leg cramps, particularly in older adults, because aging already reduces the body's thirst signals. By the time you feel thirsty, you're often already behind. Take the story of Mrs. Linda, 68, from Arizona. She loved spending her afternoons gardening, but rarely brought a water bottle outside, thinking she could catch up with fluids at dinner. Night after night, she would wake up around 2 a.m. with her calf locked so tightly that she had to pace the hallway until it released. Once we increased her daily fluid intake, just one extra glass in the morning and another mid-afternoon, her cramps dropped from nearly every night to only once in a great while. It wasn't medication, just hydration. So, what can you do? Aim for steady hydration throughout the day, not a big gulp before bed. For most older adults, about 6-8 cups of water spread out is a good baseline, though this can vary with your activity level and health conditions. Herbal teas, clear soups, and even water-rich fruits like melon or oranges can help too. The key is consistency. Think of water like oil for the gears of your muscles. And here's the surprising part. Many people believe nighttime cramps are purely circulation problems, but as you'll soon see in the next habit, staying still for too long can be just as damaging as dehydration. Most people think of leg cramps as a hydration issue, but one of the most overlooked culprits is immobility. When you sit for hours in a recliner, at the dinner table, or even in bed watching television, blood flow to the legs slows dramatically. Muscles depend on a steady stream of oxygen and nutrients to stay relaxed. Without that flow, the muscle fibers stiffen, making them far more likely to spasm once you finally stretch out at night. Here's the shocking part. Studies from the American Journal of Medicine show that sitting more than 6 hours a day can raise your risk of circulation-related leg cramps to nearly the same level as smoking a pack of cigarettes daily. Yes, you heard that right. Long hours of sitting can be as dangerous for your circulation as lighting up. For older adults, who often spend extended periods sitting or lying down, this becomes a hidden but powerful trigger for nighttime cramps. Let me tell you about Mr. George, 71 years old, from Michigan. A retired accountant, he loved reading novels in his armchair every afternoon, sometimes without standing up for 3 or 4 hours. At night, his calves would seize so violently that he described it as being stabbed from the inside. When we added just 2 short walking breaks into his afternoons and encouraged him to gently stretch his ankles before bedtime, the frequency of cramps dropped almost overnight. George couldn't believe something as simple as moving more could bring such relief. So what can you do if sitting still is part of your day? Break up long periods of inactivity with small bursts of movement. Stand up every 30 to 40 minutes, march in place for a minute, or take a quick stroll around the room. At night, flex and extend your ankles while lying in bed to encourage blood flow before falling asleep. These simple actions keep the circulation moving and muscles nourished. And here's a hint. You might be thinking food has nothing to do with cramps. But in the very next habit, we'll see how what you put on your dinner plate can silently load your muscles with trouble. What you eat and drink in the evening can shape the way your muscles behave at night. A heavy, salty dinner makes your body hold on to excess fluid. That fluid doesn't just sit in your stomach. It raises blood pressure and puts extra strain on the tiny blood vessels in your legs. The muscles, squeezed under this pressure, become more prone to sudden cramping. On the other hand, alcohol creates a very different problem. It drains your body of vital B vitamins, particularly thiamine and folate, which are essential for healthy nerves and strong muscles. Over time, too much alcohol can damage the very nerve fibers that help control muscle relaxation, leaving the legs weaker and more vulnerable to spasms. Consider Mr. Thomas, 70 years old, from Louisiana. He enjoyed his evenings with a plate of salty gumbo and a couple of beers, believing it was harmless tradition. But for months, he battled nightly calf cramps, so intense that he sometimes had to walk the floor until dawn. At first, he blamed his age. But after reducing the salt in his meals and swapping his evening beers for sparkling water with a squeeze of lemon, he noticed something remarkable. The cramps that had once been nightly visitors nearly disappeared. His energy even returned during the day because his body was no longer fighting hidden nutrient depletion. If you find yourself reaching for salty snacks or alcohol at night, here's a gentle shift to try. Choose lighter evening meals rich in vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains. Use herbs like garlic, rosemary, or basil instead of piling on salt. And if you enjoy a drink, try limiting it to special occasions rather than daily habit. Even 1 or 2 weeks of these changes can show a clear difference in how your legs feel overnight. But food and drink aren't the only daily choices that weaken muscles. Up next, you'll see how something even simpler, the lack of movement in your day, can quietly shrink muscle strength and invite more painful cramps. Your muscles are like living engines. They need to be used to stay strong. When the day passes with little movement, the muscle fibers gradually weaken. Think of it like a car left unused in the garage. The battery drains, the oil settles, and the parts lose their sharpness. In the human body, inactivity causes the muscles to shrink slightly, reducing their ability to handle even simple tasks. By the time night comes, these underworked muscles are more likely to tighten suddenly, creating painful spasms that jolt you awake. Science confirms this. A study in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity found that older adults who engaged in less than 30 minutes of daily activity were nearly twice as likely to suffer from nocturnal leg cramps compared to those who stayed moderately active. Movement pumps blood, carries oxygen, and helps flush away the chemical byproducts that irritate nerves and muscles. Without it, your legs become stiff, heavy, and far more vulnerable when you lie down at night. The good news is that you don't need a gym or fancy routines to make a difference. Even short walks around the block, gentle stretching in a chair, or light household chores like folding laundry or sweeping the porch can awaken those muscle fibers. Over time, these little bursts of movement act like daily tune-ups, keeping your muscles flexible and strong. What matters is not perfection, but consistency. The daily rhythm of moving your body in small but meaningful ways. If you've ever noticed that your cramps feel worse on days when you barely move, type a simple one if that's true, or 0 if not, down in the comments. I read them all, and your experiences help guide what we share here. And if these insights are valuable to you, make sure you subscribe to Health 365 so you never miss practical ways to protect your body and sleep more peacefully. And here's a hint. While movement can protect you during the day, what you drink later in the afternoon might quietly steal away those benefits. In the next part, we'll look at how caffeine can trick your body into losing the very minerals your muscles need most. That late afternoon cup of coffee or strong tea feels comforting, but caffeine hides a problem. It acts as a diuretic, pushing water and key minerals like potassium and magnesium out of your system. These minerals keep muscles balanced. When they run low, the fibers misfire, causing twitching and painful cramps during the night. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that high caffeine intake, especially later in the day, disrupts both hydration and mineral balance. This combination increases the risk of nocturnal leg cramps in adults over 60 by nearly 40%. Add to that caffeine's stimulant effect on the nervous system, which keeps muscles in a subtle state of tension, and you have a recipe for restless nights and weak legs the following morning. Take the example of Mrs. Caroline, 73 years old, from Oregon. She enjoyed 3 cups of strong black tea every day, often sipping her last one around 5 in the afternoon while chatting with her neighbors. By bedtime, she felt restless, and around 2 in the morning her calves would suddenly tighten like iron bands. She thought she was doing something harmless, even healthy, since tea is often praised as good for the heart. But once she switched her evening cup to chamomile and made sure to drink an extra glass of water in the late afternoon, her cramps decreased dramatically. She told me with relief, "I never realized my tea habit was stealing my sleep." The lesson here is not to give up your favorite drinks, but to be mindful of timing and balance. Keeping your coffee or strong tea in the morning and replacing your later cups with herbal teas or even warm water with lemon can protect your muscles while still giving you comfort. It's a simple shift that can transform your nights from restless to calm, and while drinks play a big role, even something as innocent as how you position your legs in bed can secretly cut off circulation and set the stage for painful cramps. That's what we'll uncover next. The way you position your legs in bed can quietly set the stage for cramps. When you curl up tightly or cross one leg over the other, you place extra pressure on your blood vessels and restrict circulation. Muscles depend on steady blood flow to receive oxygen and nutrients. Without it, they grow tense and more likely to spasm. That's why a cramp often strikes just as you roll over or stretch out after hours of lying still. Medical research in the Journal of Vascular Medicine highlights how poor circulation is one of the strongest predictors of nocturnal leg cramps in adults over 60 and blank. The problem isn't only about comfort. It's mechanical. If blood can't reach the calf muscles freely, the fibers become starved of energy and fire off sudden contractions, creating the stabbing pain that pulls you from sleep. The good news is that small adjustments can protect you. Try sleeping on your back with a pillow under your knees, or on your side with a pillow between your legs to keep them aligned. Avoid curling up too tightly or letting one leg rest across the other for long stretches. These simple changes help maintain circulation and ease pressure on the muscles, reducing the chance of painful cramps. Another tip is gentle stretching before bed. Flex your ankles, point your toes forward and back, or slowly circle your feet for a few minutes. These small motions encourage blood flow, release tension in the calves, and prepare your muscles for rest. Peaceful nights are possible with just a few mindful changes. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Do you notice more cramps when you sleep curled up or with your legs crossed? Type 1 if yes, or 0 if no, in the comments below. We read each one, and your stories help others recognize their own patterns. And if these tips are useful, don't forget to subscribe to Health 365 so you never miss practical advice for stronger, healthier nights. Up next, we'll uncover the final hidden trigger, nutrient deficiency, that silently weaken your muscles and make cramps far more likely. Your muscles don't just rely on water and circulation. They also depend on nutrients that act like the wiring of a house, keeping signals smooth and steady. Potassium and magnesium regulate how muscles contract and relax. Calcium helps those contractions fire correctly, while vitamin D ensures calcium is absorbed and used effectively. Without these building blocks, the system misfires, leaving muscles weak, twitchy, and prone to sudden nighttime cramps. Research in the New England Journal of Medicine shows that low magnesium levels are linked with a significant rise in muscle cramps, especially among older adults. Another study in Osteoporosis International confirmed that vitamin D deficiency not only weakens bones, but also increases the likelihood of muscle pain and nighttime spasms. It's not just about single nutrients, but the way they work together, like a team. When one is missing, the whole system struggles. Take the story of Mr. Daniel, 74, from North Carolina. He ate little fruit or dairy, often skipping balanced meals for quick snacks. Over time, his legs felt heavier, and the night cramps came more often. Blood tests showed he was low in both vitamin D and magnesium. After adding fortified milk, leafy greens, and a daily walk in the morning sun, the difference was striking. Within weeks, the cramps that had once woken him nightly became rare, and his legs felt steadier when climbing stairs. So what can you do? Start with small, steady improvements. Add bananas, oranges, or spinach to your meals for potassium and magnesium. Enjoy a serving of yogurt or milk for calcium, and try to spend 15 minutes outdoors each day to support natural vitamin D production. Supplements may help, but always discuss them with your doctor to ensure safety. Nighttime cramps don't have to be accepted as just aging. With the right nutrients, your muscles can remain strong, flexible, and ready to carry you through peaceful nights and active days. Tonight we've seen how something as simple as daily habits can quietly shape the strength of your legs and the quality of your sleep. It isn't aging itself that steals comfort, but small choices: too little water, too much sitting, salty meals, late caffeine, poor posture, or missing nutrients that add up over time. The hopeful truth is this: none of these changes require expensive treatments. By moving more, hydrating steadily, choosing gentler meals, and giving your body the minerals it craves, you can feel lighter on your feet and rest more peacefully at night. Even one small change can bring surprising relief. I encourage you not to see these cramps as something you must simply accept. Instead, see them as gentle reminders from your body, urging you to care for it in new ways. You deserve nights without pain and mornings full of energy.